Hey everybody, I'm back and sooner than expected. Growing up, I wasn't a Superman fan. I mentioned before that I love the melodrama of Marvel, which sometimes took place in the stories. Man of Steel was the reintroduction of Superman, the reinvention of it from John Byrne in 1986. It made headlines. In fact, they had an hour-long TV special about it where, John Byrne and some other people were involved. It was like a celebration. I think it was a 50-year celebration. I'm not sure. I love that. White spatter over to black. Then you scratch this with a rapidograph pen or just a plain old razor. So, Byrne and Austin. And man, is that sweet. What's interesting too is John Byrne's one of those guys that he did crude anatomy in the early days, like everybody does. And there's Andrew Helfer, who will be replaced eventually by Mike Carlin. So he has Superman there, and he gives him a very broad chest, and it works for me. It's like he's Superman. He's supposed to, be a powerhouse. And that also emphasizes the fact that he's a merciful powerhouse. So here comes the other two books. There's another one coming, but Mike Carlin, when he came on, man, he had a brilliant idea. He had these little triangles in all the Superman books. There were 4 books about that later on, and the triangles would tell you what order to read them in, and that was wonderful. And then, like the 5th, 4 times a year where they had a gap in publishing Superman, they would stick a special in there, and they would put a triangle on there. So, really cool stuff. I wish Austin could have stayed for this. I don't recall what he really did after that. I feel bad saying that. He did Cloak and Dagger for a while. He wrote it and inked it on a revival of Strange Tales as a split book. Kryptonite. He's got a pocket full of it. I know it's the 80s, trope of the outfit she's wearing, but I never tire of it. I think it's so cool. And kind of reminds me, although I don't know why that's tucked into her wrist, her bracelet, but there's that song by Cake called Short Skirt and a Long Jacket, which is awesome. And it was referring to Emma Peel of the Avengers TV show, which was not superheroes. Man, I gotta pick that up sometime. Matt Wagner on the Demon, yeah, baby, yeah. So we'll go to Silver Surfer. I picked up this after all these years of Stan saying nobody can write the Silver Surfer or something but me. There were just so many failed attempts where he wrote the same story over and over again, where he gets a chance to be free of Galactus' barrier, but at the end of the book, he's back on Earth, trapped, and it just got so friggin' old. It got old in 1968. So, in 1987 or so, Steve Englehart and Marshall Rogers took over. It was really a great pair-up, and it was a great idea, but issue 5 or 6, they had the Elders of the Universe. They had Grandmaster Flash. They had the Gardener and all these others. And then another one was, I can't remember his name, but he had this big, goofy cartoon face, almost like, I can't think of, and his special abilities was guns. He had a backpack, and he had a ton of guns. He was known as being the best shooter in town, and I don't mean Jim Shooter. It was so stupid. It just killed me. It was a buzzkill. So, because I know he was going to show up later issues too, so I quit. But I came back at this point because the new creative team, as of 125, was J.M. DeMatteis, and as well as Ron Gardy. So, great team. This takes place during that crappy time when the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, Captain America, and Iron Man were being formed out by Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee, the guys who were like screaming about creators' rights and they don't need Marvel and la la la. Well, the industry was spiraling the drain, and those guys decided, no, money is a little more important right now. And so, same with Marvel. And what's really great about this is Alicia Masters without Ben Grimm. She's on her own, but somehow she reconnected with Silver Surfer. Now, I don't mean in a romantic way at all, but she was the first person that he, human that he learned from when he landed on her skylight and fell in back in FF48, which was 1966, I think. So it makes sense that they would kind of bond because I don't know. I just love the idea of Alicia being a supporting character because he doesn't really have any supporting characters, unless he's on Zenlaw. And are you digging the Mobius influence like I am? Totally cool. Wow, I love this, man. This looks almost like a Mike Allred type page. So she's dealing with the loss of Ben Grimm, aka the Thing. How about that? It's real. There's Puppet Master, her father. Oh, see, he did another Silver Surfer that was drawn conventionally all these years. And you have the Mobius version. That's beautiful. Check it out. It's actually been reprinted in epic form. I really recommend it. So yeah, check it out on the epic form. So we got Weird World. It's probably in the mid-70s. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And as I've said many times before, I wasn't a DC fan because the War Comics and the Ernie Chua, who changed his name to Chan for whatever reason, Jack Olek is script, Joe Orlando, as somebody had mentioned on one of my previous episodes in the comments section, that Joe Orlando is the one who really, he kept a lot of books like this gritty and realistic. Oh man, everybody loved that show then. So it's just great. So now that I'm older, I totally dig it. So there's a backup story by Sheldon Mayer and Filipino artist Alfredo Alcala. How about that? Beauty. Sergeant Fury. Now, here is the opposite side of the coin. It's so freaking ridiculous, but it lasted a long time. It lasted like 140 issues or something like that, maybe 130. And the second half, after 100, they pretty much went all reprint. So this reprints, I don't know, George Roussos, who really crude inker. He did those Fantastic Four issues where the Thing and the Hulk squared off in like issue 25, 26, but it lasted a long time. And another thing was, I think what really helped them, it was written kind of like a superhero book, very much so, and the Ayer stuff is kind of off here, but it's serviceable. But a couple years later, John Severin took care of the inks. And that's what provided the longevity. So this is okay. It's fun, but it's kind of hard to take serious. So here we go. Thunderbolts. Now this is during the Heroes Reborn, and this new team was going to take over, Thunderbolts. So I was excited about it. I always love a giant guy. I always think they're cool, and the costumes are pretty cool. I don't like that one because it's way too involved. I don't know, it just bugs me. Listen to me, I'm all judgmental and shit. So yeah, we're seeing these images of all the missing heroes. Where have all the heroes gone? Citizen V has got a friggin' badass costume. And that, I would hate to ink that and that. That's so over the top. And they get the fighting. Actually, I say fighting. I'll say fighting. I'm not from New York. So they become heroes. I love that. Oh yeah, the Wrecking Crew, one of the greatest, I guess, what do you call? It's one of the best handful of thugs, very colorful thugs, and they're super powerful, and I dig it. I dig it a lot. So they get defeated with the Wrecker. I almost died down there, Bulldozer. Almost drowned. It's Thunderbolt I wanted to get my hands on. So, this is a double-sized issue, by the way. Well, I'll tell you, this is great. He took off his mask. Your face, not a pretty sight, is it? You would prefer it remain behind a mask, eh? Very well, but not the mask millions have come to trust. Instead, I'll wear an older mask, a mask with darker associations. The mask of Helmet 13th Baron Zemo, and the leader of the Masters of Evil. You have done well, Thunderbolts. Fixer, Beetle, Screaming Mimi, Moonstone, and in time, my friends, the world will discover that a viper is clasped to its breast. By then, it'll be too late. Let me tell you something. I was reading this like 11:30 at night in bed. My wife's, she sawed logs, and I saw that. I really wanted to shake her awake and say, "This is so cool," because this was the internet was starting. Internet fandom and stuff started expanding. It wasn't as huge as it was now. They had message boards and such, but that was the biggest turnaround shock I had read in years and years and years. And somehow Kurt Busiek, who wrote this, and Mark Bagley drew it, somehow they kept it quiet. The bullpen kept it quiet. Nowadays, you probably have somebody text it or something like that, trying to be clever, but this was amazing. And I like it a lot now. It's in epic form as well. So that's it from the comic books this time. And I hope you enjoyed, because there's more coming around the bend. Okay?